You know, I've been thinking, a lot of people grew up with Crash Bandicoot, or that it was their first PlayStation game that they experienced. Well, the same could be said for its rival for the PlayStation at that time. Now, not so much, but these two games are synonymous with each other. You can't talk about one without the other, in that you can't really separate them. I vividly remember playing Spyro 3, the demo version of it, on Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, and I remember playing Spyro Enter the Dragonfly for the PlayStation 2. Yeah, I like that game despite all of its flaws. This game got remade along with the other two Spyro games, making it a trilogy, and the same thing happened to Crash Bandicoot with his Insane trilogy. And I've already talked about Crash Bandicoot 1 for the PlayStation, so now it's time for me to talk about Spyro the Dragon for the PlayStation. Now, how the dragon came to be. This game is a collectathon where you have to collect all the gems, rescue the dragons, and collect all the dragon eggs. Developed by Insomniac Games, better known for later titles such as Ratchet & Clank series, Resistance series, and Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. Insomniac's first IP, Disruptor, failed commercially, but that didn't stop them from making their second game, Spyro the Dragon. Craig State introduced the idea of dragons to the team because he was interested in mythical creatures. Weirdly enough, the game tone and theme was going to be a lot more darker, gritty, and realistic, but Mark Cerny, at that time was the executive at Universal Interactive Studio in '97, advised Insomniac team to make a more whimsical and light-hearted game to appeal to mass market, especially for children, since Nintendo had a plethora of kids games and PlayStation did have some, but not a lot. Spyro's original name was going to be called Pete, similar with Crash's original name Willy the Wombat. Honestly don't know what is worse, Pete or Willy the Wombat, but nevertheless they changed it to Pyro because Disney had their own film Pete's Dragon, and due to copyright they couldn't use that particular name for the dragon. So Insomniac changed the name Pyro to Spyro, the name we all know and familiar with. But why did they change it? Again, mainly because the team thought Pyro was too mature. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Now we all know Spyro is purple. I mean, look at the game cover, you can see there it's purple. But that wasn't the case at first, as he was green. But due to the environment and the world being green, the developers thought he would blend in, so they changed it to purple. And in Japan he's blue, because the color purple is evil according to their Japanese beliefs. What am I thinking about, Rayman? Yep, I was thinking about Rayman. But why wouldn't they change it for Spyro? And during development, Insomniac had a close relationship with Naughty Dog. Both of their offices were across from each other, and both of them tested each other's games out. As a result, Naughty Dog put a hidden demo of Spyro in Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. The layout of the game is impressive at that time. It's mainly open world exploration collectathon with different setting and terrain. The game came out in the year 1998 and was praised for its 3D graphics, platform, and was compared to Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario 64, although not as good in their opinion. The game graphics, as you see, is 3D and polygonal and blocky. You see the world and character model as they're trying to make it into a cartoon, or trying to. I mean, some games have 3D rendered background, and during this time when 2D were dying out, 3D were getting popular. Visually, this game would have been a lot better if it was 2D at that time, but now since we have better graphics, I'm glad it got remade. One quick thing I want to say is that I think this is the first game that introduced fly mechanics or made it better. I mean, many platform games you control a character that is stuck on the ground and you can jump from one place to another, and in this franchise you can glide. The game got better with 2 and 3, but later on down the road the franchise went through a lot of publishers and developers, so Insomniac has lost their IP. And the game has not reached the level of the PlayStation trilogy, but some were good and the others were bad, but that's up to you. And this franchise has reached so many platforms, like on every PlayStation console, every Xbox console, and some Nintendo consoles. In 2011, Spyro entered the world of Skylanders, a game where toys come back to life. I never played it, but Spyro's design looked awful, and we wouldn't see him for another 7 years till the Reignited trilogy came out in 2018. Damn, that's a long wait. Like, it didn't feel that long, but wow. And while I was doing some research, there are a lot of creators for this IP. I've already mentioned 2, but here's the rest of the name on the screen. And with that being said, let's look at the purple and definitely not blue dragon can do. Well, he can run really fast, too fast, almost to a point where I can't control him. It's stiff as expected for the PlayStation 1 controls, especially bumpy terrains. He slides off to the side, leaving me to fall off the map and drowning multiple times. And in some levels you have power-ups, like supercharge when you see arrows on the ground, run over it and you can reach new heights that you couldn't reach before. And in another level, you have to rescue Fairy. Doing so, she gives Spyro a big kiss, giving him a big power up for his fire attack. And this fire attack can literally kill anything, but it's only for a short amount of time, so you have to strategize your next move. And in certain instances where you fall off the map, the fairies will lift you up and dropping you off to a safe location, which is nice, meaning you can fall off as much as you want and you won't die. But since he can go fast, he can use his horns to attack enemies and use fire breath attack to collect gems from them. or from crates, and the crates have different varieties like wooden crates, they're the weakest, you can ram into it or use fire. Metal crates, fire are useless against it as they'll heat up and not break, you need to ram it with your horns. Purple crates has a creature inside with eyes staring at you, breaking it will reveal an extra life. Metal screw thingies need a few fire tags to unscrew and break to collect some gems. A gem crate, you need to use a fire tag and a gem will pop out and hover for a few seconds, all you need to do is jump and collect it and the crate will break, take too long and you have to start all over again. A big hulking metal crate that needs a few more firepower than usual. Spyro's standard fire tag won't work. Now you can use many things like fireworks, cannon, explosive barrels, and a fire power up to break them, and some have padlocks. Search throughout the same level for a hidden key, or use the methods that I've mentioned. Some crates have fireworks intermixed with the gems. Sounds easy to get as you only need to use your fire tag, but keep it distance as you can get damaged by the explosion. Gems are not all inside crates and enemies, some are scattered on fields, as such that you can see gems from far away as they glimmer in case you can't find any. And instead of walking on all fours, Spyro has wings, so naturally he can fly, not like Superman, but like Batman, because if it was the other way around this game would be an hour long. All the gems have their own value, like red gets you 1 gem, green will get you 2 gems, blue will get you 5, yellow gets you 10 and purple gives you 25. Now that's a lot of gems. When you play the game you see this yellow fly always by your side. Well, that is Sparks the dragonfly, who is your protector. He can take up to 3 hits, turning him into green, blue and then poof gone. Or is it blue, green and then poof gone? Well, I wasn't paying much attention anyways, not that it matters, leaving you alone and vulnerable, and in order to bring him back is to kill any animals you see. Sheeps, chickens, so that Sparks can get the butterfly that comes out of them, sort of like a weird Pokemon evolution. Not only that, but Sparks can pick up gems for you. Granted, you need to be close enough for him to be bothered to do so, and with him gone you need to walk over them to pick up yourself. And in some levels you need to collect dragon eggs by chasing turban thieves. It's best to slightly cut corners and then bam, hit him with your horn, but if you give up the turban will mock you. Okay, that's adorable, but at the same time it's freaking annoying. Plus Spyro has to save the dragons that are crystallized in crystal. Just give him a tap and the dragon will break out of it. Then you hear the dialogue as they give you tips on levels and obstacles. Saving a few earlier ones give you tutorial like advice, and then later on it just gets lazy.
Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me.
Thanks, Spyro. I'd love to help you catch Gnasty, but I'd really hate being trapped in crystal again.
What the hell? I thought you're supposed to be a big tough menacing dragon and you're leaving all this mission to a little kid. Wow. You know what, I was wrong about you. You dragons are weak. After hearing that particular line, for some reason he reminds me of the generic truth from Skyrim, to me at least.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow to the knee. And speaking of voice acting, Spyro sounds like an annoying angsty teenager that's going through a phase in his life. Apparently this was done to make Spyro sound like a cool kid that everyone likes, but he just sounds like a dickhead, and I can't stand his voice. It's like my ears were bleeding, figuratively.
Don't worry, the only one who's gonna be trapped is him. Hold your horns, here comes Spyro. I'll be done when I've toasted that nasty Gnorc.
And why don't they expand the lore of Spyro? All the dragons said that in this particular area this land was peaceful and whatnot. I don't know what Insomniac was thinking, but the story of Spyro is simple and fun. The story goes like this: the reporter interviews some dragons about the world, treasure and the villain of this game, Gnasty Gnorc, or how the reporter pronounced it.
What about this Gnasty Gnorc character?
And it's up to Spyro to save all the dragons, collect all the gems and the dragon eggs. Now, the enemies of the game, defeating them will get you a gem or a few, and they evolve throughout the stages. They become bigger and badder, also dumber because they aren't aggressive enough. Wait till they get their hands on machine gun and all hell will break loose. I'll talk about some of them, like in Dark Hollow there's little green dudes with a shield and a sword. You can't use fire because the shield will block the heat, so Spyro needs to run and kill him with his horns. That makes no sense, he got a shield, he can block the charge attack, whatever. and the big dude with the club, just give him a stink breath and he'll faint. Also, this fat bastard blocked me with his fat. And in the Peacekeeper world, this little dude has musket with a shield and a cannon. Granted, you can use it against him, which is fun, and the big dude has a giant bird that'll swing around. And by far my favourite enemies in this game is this cute little dog. They seem cute, but when devoured in darkness their true form appears and it's frightening and awesome to look at. When it attacked me I jumped because the enemy is all polygony and I didn't know that this thing had a mouth. The funniest enemies for me are these giant fairies. When I get close to them they wave their hand and they look all stupid. Well, that's because they look stupid. I wouldn't even be surprised if the fairies were dropped as a child. Well, those were the enemies of Spyro the dragon. Now for the bosses of the game. And when comparing this to Crash Bandicoot, the mechanics or the thought process behind the design of the bosses are terrible. Only the last and the third boss fight are liked. The rest are forgettable with no challenges. I understand that this is aimed for children, but come on, like I said, Crash 1 had better boss fight and harder levels, even though the game appeared to be a children's game. It isn't, it really isn't. If you think like that when playing Crash 1, then good luck. So the first boss fight I face is Dr. Shep. This fight offers no difficulty at all. The suicide sword swingy enemies that scream at you after being spanked by the fat lady offer more challenge and was terrifying at the same time. But to the boss fight, I only died because of the controls, which eventually led me to fall off the bridge. But other than that, it's time this doctor loses his license. The second boss battle, Blowhard, is even worse. I've beaten him without Sparks the Dragonfly, in which I'm proud of. I thought I was going to lose all my lives and start over. Plus I was collecting gems manually, cause like I said, normally Sparks pick them up for you. Not only that, but I was fighting his minions along the way. Third boss battle, Metalhead, is good in my opinion, at least. You have to destroy his transmitter in the area while he throws some random little and big dudes at you. You can use it against him by hiding behind the transmitter or dodge at the last second for it to be destroyed, but that'll take too long. So a charge attack is the best way to quickly finish this fight when the transmitter light turns green. Fourth boss fight, Jax, is another terrible fight as he chases him around the level and platform to the end and miserably kill him. He didn't offer any challenge and I was dying because of the stupid platforms. And lastly, Gnasty Gnorc. This fight has multiple layers. Like first he chased after two turban thieves for a key to unlock the next part, which I dread as he chased after him. The control isn't good, for me at least. I don't feel like I'm in control as he slides across. The path is narrow as there are pitfalls around you, and if you fall in and die, you have to start from the beginning with the turbans. But after dying a lot of time and keeping real close to him, I attack him when he takes a little break, in which will unlock the last part. And this section I was confused. You have to be quick as the platform will retract, and if you're slow you fall into the lava. This part, mainly the third platform, Spyro would always either clip through or wouldn't reach, which was stupid. I eventually got to the end and killed him while I was fuming. I hope that's all the boss battle, but why does it feel like I'm missing one? Well, apparently I was right. In the artisan world where the dragon head is, when you go near it the mouth opens up, which is weird because that never happened when I went there before. Anyways, the first boss fight you face is Toasty, the menacing scarecrow. The level is small, not much in it other than dogs and a scarecrow, and inside of the scarecrow is a sheep. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. As for the challenge, there wasn't any and this fight was easy. The ending is nothing special. Spyro saves the day as he's being interviewed. However, if you haven't completed the game for the true ending, which isn't different as the dragons get crystallized again even when Gnasty Gnorc is dead. And to get the true ending you have to complete the game 120%. To do that you have to collect everything, gems, egg and rescue all the dragons. I couldn't be bothered doing it for the PlayStation since the remake got out, so I'd rather complete the game on there and get all the trophy support for it. One thing I like about in this game that in a sense you have infinite lives. Like if you die and lose all your lives, your progress isn't lost, sort of like a checkpoint. I like that of course because I don't want to go through all that trouble again, because we all know you aren't as good as your first playthrough. And with all that collecting, if you're bored of the platforming, you can fly, like really fly. The game has a few obstacle courses for you. Sure, you die a lot, but keep a path memorized and it should be a breeze. I do love these type of level, although I could do without the timer though, as I hate being under pressure. And that's my review, Spyro the Dragon for the PlayStation. I really enjoyed playing the game. It's easy, friendly and charming, and enough to keep me engaged when I came back from work. And me coming back from work, I couldn't wait to play it. I don't remember most of the soundtrack, I wasn't really paying attention to it, and the graphics have aged poorly. The gameplay is 50-50 for me, the controls are stiff. And the trilogy of Spyro game got remade, so it's best to play those games instead. I mean, I don't know why you would come back and play this game, other than nostalgia's sake and history. You won't miss much. And with that being said, I've been AnimersiveXP. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Thank you for releasing me.